Okay, welcome back to the channel. Finally, we are back, and in this video we're going to do the 24 minutes of Le Mans on Gran Turismo 7. This is a mission challenge, and I've selected the Red Bull, I think it's X2019, something like that, and that's we're going to do it with this because I'm struggling to beat it. This particular mission. So I paid 3 million credits for this. Let's see what happens. And also I'm going to give my predictions on F1's silly season, which, as you know, has been blown wide open recently by Vettel's retirement. Then Alonso decided to go to Aston Martin, and all sorts going on, which I think will be. It's just my predictions. I don't have any insider knowledge. I just go with what I know. My knowledge of sport, contracts, etc. is pretty good. So in a minute we will, we'll touch on that as well. Yes, I just wanted to apologise for not being active for a while. I just haven't had any sort of ideas. I wanted to do this sort of challenge, so we're finally getting round to it. And so I'm going to be more active in the coming months and weeks. So we got a lot coming up. So make sure you drop us a subscribe and a like and a comment. And yeah. And if you're a subscriber, you have a request, make sure you submit that, and we can look at getting that video made for you. Okay, so this, I think, is it the Red Bull X2019, I believe. This one's got a 3-litre V12 engine. It sounds quite squealy though. It's not as good as the X2010, which is on Gran Turismo 5, I believe 6 as well. I didn't actually play 6. But I believe it's on there as well. And that, I mean, in the slipstream, you could get 300 miles an hour off it. Incredible. I know that the pace is sort of limited here because we're doing like a challenge with the fuel and things like that. So we're going to have to keep tampering around with it. But yeah, no, this I think I've completed Gran Turismo 7 now, finally, all the menus and stuff. I mean, they've added a few more, and I imagine as updates keep coming, they'll be adding more menu books to the game. And so I'll be looking forward to attacking them. They're going to have more cars and stuff as well, which I'm very much looking forward to. So yeah. And this one, the weather change as well. I think I've done this a few times, a lap, I think 3. So prepared to spin out a couple of times. We will do our best to win. I think I've got a strategy that works. When it starts to rain, I'm going to switch to the inters. And we're going to go from there. And that should give us a lead enough to win the whole thing. But we'll see. Alright, so let's touch on F1's silly season, as it's called. So what's happened, if you're not familiar with it, is basically Sebastian Vettel decided to retire. I think it was the start of last week, and then Aston Martin hired Fernando Alonso for next season to be put in his place. Now, I think from there that leaves a free seat at Alpine, which we all assumed Oscar Piastri would get. So I think it was Wednesday night, Alpine put a statement saying they've decided that Oscar Piastri is going to be their driver for next season. And a few minutes later, Oscar Piastri put out a statement and said he's got no deal with Alpine. Now, where does that leave them? I read today that there's about 14 other drivers that they've said, or Otmar Safnau, or however you say it, he says that there's 14 other drivers that are interested in this seat. And Alpine, you think it's a team that you'd want to be in. They've got podiums, they got a win last season. It's a manufacturer. Obviously, it's Renault's team, but just branded as Alpine. I imagine at some point it'll probably change itself back to Renault. So it's a team capable of winning races, maybe even a championship one day. I've tipped them for that. I don't understand why Piastri would have turned that down. I mean, surely a manufacturer's got to be better than McLaren, a customer. But he's opted to do that. He's had a deal in place. And yeah, so it looks like he's going to be going to McLaren, but it's going to a court at the minute, and the rumours again are that McLaren have it's brought in their favour, and they've got a contract with him. But then on the contrary, Ricciardo's also signed up for next season with them. So where does that leave Daniel Ricciardo? Out of the job, of course. But I imagine he would probably have a lot of suitors. You know, his driver's won a lot of races. He's 10 or 11 races. It might not even be that much, I don't know. But he's a fairly consistent driver. He's not had the best season. I mean, I think he's been shown up, to be honest, by Lando Norris. But I imagine he will have suitors. Now, me, I'm a Mick Schumacher fan. I was a fan of his dad. I made it no secret. And it's a nervy time for us. And I think Daniel Ricciardo fans will be feeling the same. Because where do our drivers end up this year? What if they don't get a seat? Then they're not on the grid. But I'll touch on Mick in a minute. But yeah, Ricciardo. So he was originally a Renault factory driver when it was the Renault team before it rebranded. Then he left to go to McLaren, which for me it was career suicide. I thought that he could have stayed there, maybe built something, and then they bought Alonso back, and that was an odd one. Why he left, but now they're saying he's going to go back, and he's apparently been talking to them. So I think he's the favourite to end up there. Whether he will or not, only time will tell. Then another rumour today that Pierre Gasly apparently has a contract, has a clause in his contract where he can move to a team higher in the standings if the opportunity presents itself, which it possibly could this season with Alpine. But again, he's another one. He's had an absolute nightmare of a season, Pierre Gasly. And so maybe Red Bull or AlphaTauri would, say, yeah, that's fine, and release him from their program in order to race for Alpine, which for me, I would see as a good move. I feel he probably can deliver more there. I think with Red Bull, I think every driver who goes to Red Bull or in the sort of junior setup, you're going to be in Max Verstappen's shadow for the next 10 to 15 years. And it's something that is probably not the wisest move for a driver. But when you think about it, if it's the only seat, it's the only seat, So that's kind of where we are with that. And there's a lot of nerves, a lot of anxiety amongst fans of these guys that are out of contract, where they're going to go. And I'll go in now, and I'll go with Mick, and from a fan's perspective and from what I know, I'll tell you a bit about that. So with Haas, the deal's up, and there's a lot of talk saying that they're not going to renew, and they've halted contract talks, which for me is a bit like, what? When he's outperformed his teammates in the last 4 races. He's got a 6th place, got an 8th at Silverstone, which I was lucky enough to be there for. And yeah, he's gone wheel to wheel this season with Verstappen, with Hamilton. He's shown what he's got. Yeah, Gunther Steiner appears to not want him, and there's rumours as well that he's leaving the Ferrari Driver Academy, who actually own part of his contract. Now, for going from there, you think, well, what are his options? Williams only have a seat, seems unlikely. AlphaTauri, again, it's a possibility, because Helmut Marko, I know, is a bit of a fan of Mick. He said so the other week. So if Gasly goes, or they bin Tsunoda, that's definitely possible. So yeah, there are possibilities for Mick. I mean, I'm not too nervous yet, but I predict with him, I do think he'll re-sign with Haas. I think because he's bought their only sponsor, 1&1, Under Armour, again another sponsor. They're with Mick. Then who else have Haas got? The car is plain, okay. Without that, so without Mick's money, without the sponsorship he brings, you look on the Haas merchandise on the website now. All the Mick stuff, a lot of it's sold out. May only have been me. I've bought quite a bit. I've spent, in the last 2 months, spent about £150 on Mick merchandise. That's caps, that's t-shirts, that's a lot. But I don't feel. I think he'll race there in 2023. I mean, whether the Ferrari rumours are true or not, I think they'll still want him there. They believe it's in Haas's best interest to replace him. I mean, who are they going to replace him with? Daniel Ricciardo's not going to want to go there, and that's probably your best option. I don't think anybody really wants to go to Haas. I think Gunther Steiner is just a toxic human, in all honesty. I think he comes out in public, slates his drivers, You look how he was in the first and second series of Drive to Survive with Magnussen Grosjean. I was surprised Magnussen's actually gone back there, to be honest. Because how he talks to the media about them, how he talks to people. I know he's a bit of a character, and people are like, oh yeah, he's a laugh. But this is a serious business. Why in reality would you want to race there if you had options? So that's where I feel we are with that one. But Alfa Romeo would be, I feel, would be a great seat. But then Guan Yu Zhou's had a pretty good season. I think he's had a decent rookie year, Guan Yu Zhou. And a lot of people said that he would be a money man, somebody who probably wouldn't last. But I think going from Guan Yu Zhou's perspective, I think he'll be at Alfa Romeo next year alongside Bottas, probably learning a lot as well. So yeah, those are my predictions. I think Mick will stay with Haas this year anyway. I think. Where are we? To pit stop. I'll fast forward the pit stop, by the way. We'll skip that. It just takes too long. Yeah. So Guan Yu Zhou, him there. So what about AlphaTauri? What I've said about Gasly. Gasly's 50-50. If he doesn't get the the Alpine seat, I think then he'll stay. There's no real other option. Yuki Tsunoda's been disappointing this year. I've got to say, I wonder what's happening with that one. I mean, there's rumours that, again, accurate, good sources that state, that they're looking to maybe replace him. I mean, they've got a good junior program, but again, that's where Mick comes in. Could he impress there? As we said, Helmut Marko is a fan. But yeah, with AlphaTauri, I think there'll be a free seat, to be honest. I think they'll promote a junior. Into it. So I think whether that's Gasly goes or Tsunoda stays. Ooh, just a bit of a crash here. Got to get these inters warmed up. But yeah, sorry. Yeah, I do believe there'll be a free seat and a change at AlphaTauri. Join some spins again. Yeah, and it'll be one of them. I mean, they've got a good young stable. I think Liam Lawson's one of their young drivers. They got Yuri Vips, although he's had his controversy recently, and it probably would be too soon to bring him into Formula One. But then you got to look what happened with Mazepin after what he did. Next year he was promoted, but then again that was with Haas. Would Red Bull really risk something like that happening? Maybe in a year, 2 years, something like that. I don't know. But the Alpine seat's very much. I think one is very much open, but they'll keep one of the drivers definitely. So Tsunoda had a great year last year for a rookie season. I mean that was brilliant. 4th place in Abu Dhabi as well. But yeah, this season he just hasn't shown it. I mean, he's been outperformed by a lot of the people, like the mid-pack guys, you know. So yeah, definitely a free seat there. Alfa Romeo stay the same. Haas, I believe, will stay the same. Williams, they got a free seat as well. I think Logan Sargent will probably get that. He is a Williams junior. Going alongside Alex Albon, who himself, I'm quite impressed with Alex Albon actually. I like how he's kind of fought back and he's got back into Formula One. I mean, we see the talent that he's got, but I mean, he went away for a year, done DTM, and you usually think, I mean, that's usually a death wish. Like nowadays, it's like, you see him, they go, bye, that's it. But he's he fought back. He's got a multi-year deal, which is good. So then maybe if he really impresses the next few years, then you'd expect him to maybe move up to a bigger team. Maybe not Red Bull again. Although I think there's still something to do with him, contract-wise. I don't know if is it because he did have the Red Bull logo. I think he still does on his helmet. So I think there's still some sort of partnership there. But we will see with him that you've got Logan Sargent, the possible replacement. I think Latifi's gone. I mean, he's just shown nothing. How long has he been there now? 3 years? Is this his 3rd season, 4th season? I don't know. But he's just shown absolutely nothing. I mean, he's a paid driver, and that's it. Fortunate to get points twice last year. I don't think he's a comfortable midfield driver, even in like a decent car. But he's being outperformed by his teammate by quite a bit. I mean, Albon's really, it's not the best at Williams this season. He's really getting, Albon's really getting the best he can out of it, showing his talent for sure. So yeah, Latifi gone, but I think Nick De Vries is another one. You get, nowadays, it's not so much, you don't really get a debutant at like 27. It's the teams are going for guys that are a lot younger. It's not like, say, 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. You know, you get a debutant at like 30 odd. Roland Ratzenberger, you know, obviously before he passed away, he was what, 33. It just doesn't happen now. But yeah, I mean, 27. I don't know. I mean, I'd take, if it was me, if I was in charge of Williams, I'd take a chance on De Vries. To be honest, I mean, I think he's done well in Formula E. He's won everywhere he's gone. I think, yeah, I think he deserves a shot on in Formula One. I think he'd take a pay cut, to be honest, in order to make that happen. Again, he's tied in with Mercedes, so they could be trying to help secure him a seat. But Toto Wolff did say they'd release him from like the program if he couldn't find one. But yeah, I'm surprised he's not in it already, De Vries, to be honest. I mean, they should have put him in maybe instead of Latifi a few years ago when he won Formula 2. But that didn't happen. So who else have we got left? Yeah, Alpine again. That's more open, that one. I mean, as a Mick fan, I would love him to take that seat. Multi-year contract alongside Ocon, who's a friend that could have an influence. But we'll definitely see. Yeah, and Aston Martin. I'll say this about Fernando Alonso, as he's, you know, we've seen over the years what a talent he is. Okay, but I just think you're 41, and no, not because Mick was supposed to have the Aston Martin seat, which he was heavily linked with. I know, but any young driver that's sort of that could have had that seat, and they sort of went for him. I mean, he's 41. What more can you offer? I mean, your reactions aren't going to be as quick as they were, say, 20 years ago when he first came in. This is my sort of concern. It's just stopping another driver really having that seat, which is the same with Lance Stroll. I mean, Lance Stroll, to be fair, I mean, he's a comfortable midfield driver, but if his dad wasn't a billionaire, would he really be anywhere near Formula 1? The answer is no. He would be absolutely nowhere near it at all. And that's the truth. He's a comfortable midfield runner at best. That's where I am with that. I mean, these opinions are harsh, but again, I'm entitled to them. And I'm just telling you what I know, what I think. So yeah, we've got plenty of seats, and we've got the fact that Alonso actually has a clause in his contract. If the results aren't good enough for Aston Martin, if he's not happy with the car, he can walk at any time with no penalties or financial implications whatsoever. And this is a sort of a stab in the dark type theory. And I honestly believe that Aston are trying to, they're making like the right noise. They're saying, oh yeah, we've done this, we're getting a wind tunnel, we bought this facility, that facility, we moved, and we bought all these people from Mercedes, Red Bull, whatever. And I believe they're trying, but my theory is this, okay? I think start of next year, it's not going to be going to plan. It'll be similar to his McLaren second McLaren career, where it was just a disaster. And I think about 7 races in, I think he'll walk. And then that opens up a seat. But there, my guess there is probably they would catapult Nico Hülkenberg into the seat for the rest of the season, because he's their test driver, and he did I believe he did some tests with with Pirelli, I think at Hungary, I think last weekend, a few days after the Grand Prix. So yeah, he's there waiting. I don't think he's a seat to go back to a prospect to go back to Alpine. I think that chapter's closed. I mean, he had a lot of opportunities there, never got a podium. It was the potential for Hülkenberg at the time. That, I mean, he was in Mercedes. We're looking at before they were looking at Lewis Hamilton. I mean, how different could his career have turned out? I mean, he could have a championship, 7. You know, that's how he was. I think he was unlucky at moments. I think there was one Grand Prix. Was it the German Grand Prix 2019? It was just chaos. He was in third. He could have had a podium for Renault, and apparently they were going to renew him if he'd have got it. But he crashed out, didn't he? So, yeah, that's the thing with Nico Hulkenberg. I do think he'll be in the Aston seat probably next season. But the thing there, I mean, it's I don't understand the signing of Alonso. I know he brings money. I know he brings like fans. He's a big name that Lawrence Stroll said he wanted. But yeah, it's a mystery. I just think of 41, and he's got a multi-year deal. So he could be 43, 44 when when the deal expires, and I don't see it working. In truth, but time will tell. These are just my predictions. Okay, so we're going to run down. So Ferrari is sorted for next season, as are Mercedes, unless Hamilton retires, which I don't believe he will. Who else we got? So we got Ferrari, we got Mercedes, sorted. Red Bull sorted. I believe Perez, he's got an extension there, didn't he? Who else? Alpine. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to say it'll be Ocon, of course, and I think they'll bring Ricciardo back, but that's again a strange move. Aston Martin are sorted. Who else we got? AlphaTauri. Again, this is one that's dependent. I can't really give an accurate. I think it'll be Pierre Gasly and probably a junior that go to AlphaTauri. So then we got Haas. I believe that's going to stay the same. I think they'll resign Mick. I think he'll have a good second half of the season. I've got a weird feeling about a podium in a race. It's a bit of a chaotic one. So I think he'll stay there. And then Alfa Romeo. Yeah, again, that's another one. I think they'll be the same. I think they'll keep Zhou Guanyu. I think he's done enough personally in his first year. I think Tsunoda will probably be out. I just don't think Red Bull are particularly happy with him. Williams, that'll be Albon, probably a junior. I'm gonna stick my neck out and go Nick De Vries. I think on that one, because I think he's I think he deserves a shot, even if it's for a year. See what he can do. So yeah, those are my predictions. Let's get back to this race. Low on fuel around Le Mans. I think we can. I think if we leave it on 6, we have a massive lead because they're all pitting. I think we can do enough. We got to try and keep those tyres cool because the track is now mostly dry. You can see like the racing line's dry anyway, but you see like off the racing line, it's a tad wet. This is it. I mean, it's only for 15,000 credits, I think, for winning this race. But I'll take it because it's a challenge. I just want to get gold on. Really, I think it's quite a cool challenge. So here we are. It's just if that fuel's going to hold out. 0.7 with a lap left. I don't think we're at 0.7 yet. It said we didn't even have a full lap, actually. On when we crossed the line, so we're just gonna have to drive with our void spins. That's gonna make things worse. We kind of got to keep on a look how the back tyres are shredded. I'm just gonna move the brake balance, towards the front tyres. All the way, because the rears just aren't going to handle it. It should be spinning everywhere on the braking. Power to lean, definitely. Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with this Red Bull. 3 million credits though. Bring back the X2010. It's just an animal. We'd have won this by a mile now. I mean, we'd have been spinning or whatever, but Just keeping it, keep those tyres cool. Those intermediates, what a blinder of a strategy that was. And I think we're just going to make it. The clock has officially run down. Just got to be gentle even on the throttle. It's yeah, so it's an okay car, but I mean, if you're going to spend 3 million, don't. To be honest, it's not. It's nice. It's okay sound. It's okay sounding. It's not great. It's not. It's yeah. It's a V12, I know, but it does well under braking. This, so I'll definitely give it that. Spinning already onto that grass. Not ideal if I want to keep these tyres. These tyres to the end. I'm worried about all of it now. So we've got the tyres, we've got the fuel consumption. Does not look good. I'm not certain this is going to happen. I think I'm going to run out. Definitely stay. Don't turn off the. Don't turn off the video now. Oh no! Oh, we really did not need this. Lead is still enough. I'm not worried about the cars behind us. I'm worried about getting to the finish line. We are not too far away from it now. Some nerves. Please refuel, mate. Okay, yes, I can see the finish line. Might have to just catapult it across like the chicane. If it gets us a penalty, we're still far enough ahead for it not to matter. Yeah. Will we be alright? Not now, really. Any time. Come on, we're meters from it. Go on. Yes. That is fine. That will do me. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.